Hey, thanks for stopping by the channel. This is just a very quick, I guess, an opinion piece on the new movie Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, or as some people are calling it, Indiana Jones Part 5. Um, Not really a reviewer. I do give, opinions on some of the stuff that I read or see. But I thought I'd put this out here because seeing a lot of very negative reviews on this movie. I know a lot of people are disappointed in how Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, is treated in the movie because he does get pushed a little bit to the background in some of it with what is it, Phoebe Waller-Bridges, the goddaughter. Um, it's a character, and it's a character that's getting older. So, yeah, I don't. The treatment was might have been considered a little bit bad, but at the end, he gets the girl and more or less rides off into the sunset. So I don't think it was horrible treatment of him. Anyways, so let's go over the movie. In general, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Um, it's a little bit on the long side, but I didn't find myself looking at my watch, which is usually my indication that I'm not enjoying the picture. I'm looking at the watch to say, how much more of this crap do I have to sit through? And I didn't in this movie. So I enjoyed it. I would recommend it to you if you like an action picture because it is an action picture. Um, the writing is probably the weakest point in it. It's not the greatest. There's some stuff that's really silly, doesn't make sense, but you know, when you get into a fantasy movie, you have to put your brain in park and just watch it and enjoy it. Um, so yeah, I would say go see it. I think you would enjoy it if you've liked the other Indiana Jones. It's certainly better than Crystal Skull, as far as I'm concerned. It's not as good as the first one, um, but that's a pretty tall order to be that good. But like I said, I enjoyed it. Yeah, maybe 2.5 to 3 out of 5 in general. But yeah, if you're just looking for something for some enjoyment, I would recommend the movie. So let's go over a little bit more detail in some of the stuff. The movie starts off over here in 1944-45 with Indiana Jones fighting the Nazis, which is what he's born for. In all the other movies, that's the best part of it. So they, of course, have to use some de-aging on his character because he's back when we first saw him in the first movie. And it's actually not too bad. I mean, there's some times when it slips and you don't see it as good. I'm wondering if those times are when they put his face on a stunt double or something, because the man's in his 80s. He can't move like he used to. So, anyways, this whole start of it, the movie is very enjoyable. It's action packed. Yeah, it's really good. I liked it. Then it moves on to present day, which is in their case, it's 1969, and this part is maybe what gets people upset. Indiana's kind of a sad sack. He's still teaching at universities, but nobody really seems to care about his courses because it's a moon landing and people have moved on and stuff. So he's getting into retirement age and he's separated from his wife. Um, so yeah, he doesn't come across as very all put together. And he meets his goddaughter, which is Phoebe Waller-Bridges, and a lot of people have said, her character is not likable. Yeah, you're right. She's not. She's an asshole. She's a criminal. She's screws over Indy at the start of the movie, and leaves him where he could actually be killed by the bad guys. She's a horrible person. But as for Phoebe Waller-Bridges, she does it. I know some people get upset because they think it's modern movies tend to have female heroines who are just perfect at everything, never struggle to get where they are. They just are good, and they're always better than the guy. And she comes across, I guess, to some of them as being better than Indy. I don't know. In the movie, he kind of shows that he's the one that's getting things done and understands what's going on. And that's part of the problem of the movie too, is everything's too easy, a bit too easy. They can find, these things have been lost for hundreds, thousands of years. They find them with little or no effort. Um, but anyways, they bad guys show up and they want something, of course, and he's got half of the dial. He was supposed to get rid of it, but he didn't, of course. So that's when Phoebe grabs the dial and buggers off and leaves him with all the bad guys. And that's another weak part in the movie. The main villain is what's his name? Mars Nicholson. I don't know. He's a good actor. I've seen him in a lot of stuff, but in this movie, he's just bland. I mean, vanilla. There's him and his two henchmen. Usually you want a really evil villain that when he gets his just desserts, you are like, yeah, get him. But in this, yeah, he's a Nazi. Okay, so yeah, we hate him because he's a Nazi. He wants to kill Hitler and take over where Hitler started in World War II. Okay, yeah, we hate him. His henchmen are shoot people they shouldn't, innocent people. Okay, yeah, but you kind of just go, yeah, okay, they're bad. But you don't really horribly despise them for all the bad things they do, even though there's enough there too. I sort of like, yeah, okay, shoot them. So yeah, the villain is kind of not the greatest villain I've seen in any indie picture. Kind of weak. Um, so then they move on. They go overseas, of course, as always, and there's a lot of action pictures tearing around. Indy finds Phoebe, and she's trying to sell the Dial of Destiny, and they get into chase scenes because some guy that she jilted shows up trying to kill her, and Indy just wants the dial back to I don't know what. Um, so there's lots of chase scenes, and those are pretty well done. They're chase scenes between cars and these I don't know, powered rickshaws, half motorcycle, half rickshaw. So that works pretty good. The action is pretty good. Um, in general, that's one of the enjoyable parts. The problem you have is with Harrison Ford being 80 years old. There's some scenes where you just see him running down a hallway or something, and you go, yeah, there's an 80-year-old man running. It's obvious that he's struggling with the physical stuff. But they shoot around it a lot of cases that he doesn't look horribly bad in it, but he does look his age in that. And this movie should have been shot 10 years ago or something, or right after four, when he still was a much younger man because he suffers for it. And um, even though he gets the whip out and cracks her and he shoots people, again, you just kind of you cringe a little bit sometimes when he's doing stuff, even though you really like the character, which is I do. Um, the other negative is Phoebe Waller-Bridges. She's her people don't like her character, and that's fine. I'm fine with it. They put it in, and yes, it's kind of the superwoman kind of thing where it's not deserved. Okay, yeah, I can get by that in this movie, but what I can't get by is casting someone who can't do action in an action role. There's one scene that she's on a motorcycle, and I kind of think she's scared shitless when she's on that motorcycle. It's all green screen or on a trailer or something like that, but the bits where she maybe actually is trying to ride the bike, she looks horrible at it, and she just doesn't work. I don't know why Hollywood keeps doing this, hiring women. Just I don't know for whatever reason. She's writes a lot of stuff, so maybe and she had some success in some comedies. Well, that's not an action picture. She's like tall and thin and not believable as an action person. I don't know. Again, Scarlett Johansson, Angela Jolie, plays Gamora as Zoe. All those actors, female actors, can do action and do it competently, and they bring somebody in a action picture who um, looks just Yeah, just it's not credible what she does as action. There's some shots where you can see definitely this is a stunt person, and then they cut to her in some somewhat bad editing, and the difference you see her running, and it's like it's not it's not a powerful stride. It's just somebody running in front of a green screen or something. Yeah, her character for the action part just does not work at all, and that's maybe one of the largest parts in the movie. For her character art, going from a sleazebag to actually somebody who redeems himself near the end of the movie, I mean that's great. It's good, and she plays the kind of smartass character um, quite well. I mean, her acting part is fine. It's the action part where it's not, and it's blatantly not. So that's one of the things I didn't like so much. But anyways, they get out of the city and then they're going diving for the other piece, and again this miraculous finding where it is so easy, and the bad guys just happen to show up. So they escape again, and the other part is kind of good is when they actually go into the past and they go to the wrong place. The evil guy wants to go back to 1936 or whenever when Hitler was there and get rid of him, and they end up going back to Archimedes, who is the one who created the Dial of Destiny. They go back to his time period because apparently he created the machine to get people to come back and help him, and it works. So it's interesting there, the CGI where they're showing the fight between I guess it's the Greeks and the Romans, is pretty good. Which is what is not is they bring down a modern propeller-driven bomber with a big arrow, which is okay. Yeah, it's dumb. And shooting out of a plane at the people on the ground with a pistol is what the bad guys do, which is dumb. I mean, one guy finally actually uses standard equipment on a bomber, which is a machine gun, but yeah, it's that part of it is just stupid. And oh, they have this character who's like the short round for Phoebe. That's just an annoying little sidekick, and he miraculously can fly a plane because he sat in a bar and some drunken British pilot told him how to fly it. So of course he can fly it. So that's the other dumb part, but that's how they come back to the present. Um, Part of which I was talking about the Phoebe thing is like in the Indies, it's really the one punch knockouts happen all the time, and like even Harrison Ford back in earlier movies, same thing, which is always kind of ridiculous in these movies, but less credible when Phoebe Waller-Bridges is doing it, and she one punches a lot of people, and it's laughable at the best of times. So, that sounds like it's a negative, but no, you can still enjoy the movie with all these faults in it. It's still worth seeing, and I basically say go see it. Okay.